Man, you really don't ever know what to expect in this world. Just day by day, I really don't know, like, where it's turning. If it's gonna, like, take this apocalyptic shift and just kind of drive off into a scary, strange, dangerous place, or if people are going to unite and have some form of unity, maybe through the spiritual context or any sort of metaphysical context other than the one that we've currently rearranged for our sort of system of belief and standards. So it's kind of odd. I'm gonna say, just kind of looking at things every day and trying to make an analogy of them, because every day it's becoming really random. I'm beginning to notice, and sort of paying attention to it kind of detracts people from a lot of what's going on in their own lives, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but we ourselves have sort of become the epitome of these mongrels or whores for the media. And it's because, I think, in part because of people like Kanye West, the things he's done so far lately. Um, yeah, the whole thing with what is it? Jesus is real or something like that. Well, I mean, look at Kanye West and his history. Just remember back in Katrina when he made his George Bush doesn't care about black people comment. And then, shoot forward a few more years to, what was it, one of the music awards where he got on stage and took like the best female music award or something like that, and said it belonged to Beyonce for put a ring on it, I guess. Yeah, he got on stage and like took the fucking trophy away and like ran off. And I think the president was there at the time, Obama, when he was president. I think he even commented on him, just like, yeah, the guy's a fucking jackass. Not a tip of the hat to Obama for any means or anything like that. Didn't particularly like him, but I don't think he's terribly evil, just evil in general. And let's remember quite recently, he was having that strange episode back in, what was it, 2015 or 2016, around the time or before or after the election results. I can't necessarily remember, but he was there in Trump Tower, and like it was very weird, very bizarre. Like they were walking, to an elevator, and like Trump was like rubbing his shoulder and shit, like trying to reassure him or something. So it's really hard for me to like decide whether if Kanye is just like, schizophrenic, or really good with playing the celebrity handbook and sort of milking up as much attention as he can get. Um, but with this Jesus is a real thing, or whatever the hell it's called. He's now going around saying that he's a son of God, not the son of God, but a son of God. And I don't think it's the first time he's declared himself as, the son or a son of God. I think before he has declared himself as fucking Jesus. But now he's saying he is a son of God. But, according to what it was, like John the Baptist, I think John said something like, anyone who believes in Jesus is a son of God. So I'm not going to knock on him for that one. I don't think he's stretching it too far, but he's certainly just, getting that sort of response he's always looking for. And it's weird with him. Like, the way he flips around, even like the way he got into the fucking thing with Trump, and he was, sitting there in the Oval Office with him, and like, I think a huge part of that, and he's got a Make America Great hat on again. I think a huge part of that is for publicity, honestly. Even though I'm not like a Trump supporter or anything, but I do find it really funny and ironic when celebrities like go in that direction and say things just to piss people off. I mean, I think essentially that's what a lot of them are doing. Maybe not so much with like ones like Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is, pretty legitimate. Like I was reading some stuff on him, and he's pissed off about like a lot of the political corruption and stuff like that. Like that's what it boils down to with a lot of it, and why a lot of people support Trump is because they're tired of the corruption. And the racist label gets slapped to everybody so quickly. It's a nightmare. And even for people who don't necessarily support Trump, but someone like me who'd like to see all this garbage washed out of the Capitol, people are gonna sit there and denounce me as possibly a racist. And that's the worst fucking thing you can call anybody in this day and age. And I'm not really trying to play any cards here, but I wouldn't take people like Kanye too seriously. Honestly, I wouldn't take him too seriously. I mean, in the context, like some people do say that he's mentally ill, and I wouldn't be too shocked with that, with the way he behaves. If he's really behaving in this manner because he believes some of these things, like he believes he's the son of God, or like he believes like whatever happened that got him like tucked away into like some fucking rehab facility for a while back there. That seemed like he was generally going through something that was, pretty much screwing with his head. So I don't know if like that was just like another stunt by him, but it more or less seemed like he had a few screws loose and like he needed to, seek some help or something. And who knows? I tend to think that the guy is kind of like 50-50. He's like half crazy, then like half theater. Maybe like a lot of other celebrities out there, they're a bit kooky. You could even like bring Tom Cruise into the picture, and like the guy overall in general, like he's very fucking animated. Jumping up and down on the couch and doing the whole like power struggle with the emperor of fucking Oprah. I mean, it was outrageous. And like someone like that, I think Tom Cruise is genuinely brainwashed just by the fucking just the whole notion of Scientology and how abusive and coercive of a religion that is. And like I think they were saying something that like that religion like deliberately like hooked him up with Nicole Kidman. Like they're like, hey Tom Cruise, you're gonna become famous and this is gonna be your fucking girlfriend, or what? Were they married? I don't know. I know that they were seeing each other or something like that. And I heard some interesting things about the Eyes Wide Shut the other day, which I heard is actually an expose on sort of like the underground sort of lucrative sex world of Hollywood. And like it's actually what Kubrick saw when he was like, I don't know, living in Hollywood or working with Hollywood. I believe he lived in London for a while, somewhere in England. I don't know, somewhere out of the regions of the United States. But I thought that was interesting because apparently, another rumor says like he's trying to like pull them out of that weird fucking system that like very, very strange religion, and the number of famous people who follow it's pretty weird. I think the singer Beck is one of them. What's that one guy who's from that was it that show Earl or something like that, where he's always talking about karma? Jason Lee, is that his name? Yeah, he's a Scientologist. A lot of these celebrities you wouldn't even imagine fucking or Scientologists, and like I think that's part of it is because the religion itself makes them famous. But I'm getting kind of off topic, but he somewhat reminds me, Kanye West somewhat reminds me of like one of those sort of egocentrists that is sort of brainwashed by something. But the Jesus thing, like I don't knock on anybody for their faith and the Bible. I mean, I believe Jesus was a real guy. I just don't necessarily know if he was the son of God. I mean, according to most like historical scholars, they contend that Jesus existed, whether they're atheist or not. So I think the guy was real, but like it could have been just a bit exaggerated with like the walking on water. Maybe he became so spiritually buoyant that he could just hover over it, so to say. That's something that I read about. And but the thing with Kanye, I think he's just playing his typical celebrity handbook theatrics, or he's legitimately insane, which both scenarios are plausible. But I think he's a little bit of both, sort of 50-50 if you want to throw that in there.